Chalo, Satvik, introduce yourself.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Satvik Sharma. I've been born, brought up, and educated in Ghaziabad. I have completed my graduate degree in electrical and electronics engineering. Uh, I have some work experience as a freelance business development associate. Thereafter, I've been preparing for a UPSC examination.
Okay, good. So, Satvik, what does the word Satvik mean?
So it means pure. It's also a name of one of the many names of Lord Shiva. It means purity.
Could name 5 names of Lord Shiva.
Mahadev, Rudraksh, mm, Mahakal, mm, Shankar, and Sadashiv.
Good. Word Ghaziabad owes its origin to some Ghazi or what?
Sir, it was founded by a Mughal courtier called Ghaziuddin in 1740 under the reign of Muhammad Shah Ragila. Yes.
So, recently there has been a move to change the names of the cities. And you might be aware Ghaziabad is also being sought to be changed. What is your view on changing the name of a city? Be very specific. A, is changing the name of city so important? If yes, why? If no, why?
Sir, I think changing the names of city attributes to the cultural significance of the place. So, if the cultural significance demands that its name needs to be changed. For instance, we saw in Prayagraj that the cultural attraction was the Prayag of the Triveni Sangam. That's why it was changed to attract the tourism. Also, sir, I think that it's nothing to do with the changing the history. It's just towards the cultural essence of the place.
So you are in favor of changing the name of the city?
Based on cultural significance.
Okay, right. So who has authority to change the name of a city? And who has authority to change the name of a street or a road?
Sir, I think the state government forwards its proposal to the central government, takes approvals from Ministry of Home Affairs and other departments. Thereafter, on the advisories of all the departments, the state government can take the decision.
Even for the name of a street, is it required to be sent by the state government to central government?
No, sir. I believe that the street names for small streets, there has to be some decentralization. This was the problem in Google Maps also, because there are multiple names of the street. So it's a quite cumbersome.
Okay. So Satvik, you have been an electrical engineer, right? There is a lot of debate regarding the nuclear power in India. What is your take? Is nuclear power safe and cost effective?
So nuclear power still constitutes 1.8% of our.
Now my question is very specific. A, it is safe, yes or no? Is it cost effective, yes or no? If so, yes, why?
So it's safe under certain circumstances if we follow IEA guidelines. Also, sir, we follow 3-step reusable fuel cycle, wherein we will not leave any nuclear waste material. Almost all of the waste material will be used.
Okay, safe. What about cost effectiveness?
Sir, it's currently, as we need to import the technologies from other countries like South Korea for SMRs, and from France, it's quite expensive as of now to set up. But in the longer run, it will be cost effective given the nature of our current energy mix, which is coal dependent.
Okay. Prime Minister Modi went to US. He had a talks with President Trump then there was some kind of a discussion or debate or an agreement about some nuclear energy. I am a layman. You have to explain it to a layman that what transpired between the two leaders and what has been the outcome in terms of nuclear energy for India.
Sir, there was, as far as nuclear energy is concerned, there is a bottleneck of Civil Nuclear Liabilities Act in India and also Atomic Energy Act in India. So there was a consensus of reducing the barriers to the US companies or for foreign companies particularly to invest in India, to come to India and set up the nuclear plants and bid.
Okay. What is triad?
Triad?
Triad.
Triac?
Triad. TRIAD. Triad in the security doctrine.
Sir, I'm not aware of that.
Okay. India made 2 nuclear explosions. What was the message behind the first? What was the message behind the second nuclear explosion?
So the first explosion in 1970s, Smiling Buddha, sent a clear message that India has the capability of undertaking nuclear development, nuclear technology development in the energy and as well as weapon systems. And the 1999 the operation in Pokhran of a nuclear test sent a message that India, for deterrent effect, India follows a no fuss use policy. So that the message sent was that India has a deterrent effect to any threat of Chinese nuclear weapon.
So, name 3 schemes. Please listen to the question very carefully. Name 3 schemes for development of power sector in India.
Revamped distribution sector scheme, Saubhagya scheme, Deen Dayal Jyoti Gram Ujjwala scheme.
What is the difference between Ujjwala Yojana and the Ujjwal Yojana?
So Ujjwala Yojana is for providing clean cooking fuel like LPG to BPL families, and Ujjwal scheme, as far as I know, is for the distribution of LEDs.
Last question. Recently, there was a controversy regarding Ranveer Allahabadia. Do you subscribe to his version or to the directives of the Supreme Court?
Sir, I support the directives of Supreme Court.
Why?
Because, sir, with great power, the freedom, we have some responsibilities. So public morality is one of those exceptions where we have to limit our free speech to uphold the public morality, and that statement was against public morality.
Thank you. Thank you, Satvik.
I'll continue on that cue. Fine. But there are a lot of hate speeches which are coming up through irresponsible politicians, even sitting ministers. How do you deal with them in a democratic setup?
Sir, I think Supreme Court has some guidelines regarding the hate speech, wherein it mentions that whenever a speech instigates violence or categorizes any community with any stereotype to instigate the violence, it converts into hate speech. But sir, the leaders who are undertaking these kind of speeches might be involved for political gains or vote bank politics. But sir, the law takes its own course, and all those who are sued.
Okay, Satvik. One name which law has taken its course and the man has been punished.
Sir,
0.
I cannot recall any.
Because it's 0. Okay, drill baby drill. What does it remind you of?
Sir, it was the statement of Donald Trump after he portrayed his decision of backing up from Paris Climate Agreement, so that the American oil companies lift their embargoes of limits on their drilling capacities and owing to the net zero targets. So he sent a message that towards the business community that they can go for their business as much as possible.
Okay, I'll give you a statement since you're a student of public administration and ask you to speak a minute for or against. A leader is born, not made.
So, leadership is something, is an influence of a person or group of persons towards its followers, towards a goal-directed behavior. Initially, we thought that leaders are born because of trait theories, but those were negated as we found that as the management researches went on. So, the qualities that a leader should have are trainable, because those are a good knowledge base, aptitude, positive attitudes towards the work. Because all these qualities are trainable, it supports that leaders are made, not born. But again, due to some reasons, there was a resurgence of the notion that leaders are born, not made, because some of the leaders in tumultuous conditions were able to guide their organizations or countries towards success, like Mr. Ratan Tata ji, who revoked the Titan company, Titan brand, but that also was nurtured in him by his his mentors like Shri J.R.D. Tata ji. So we can conclude that leaders are made, not born.
Okay, I'll give you now two names in history, very big leaders, no? Hitler and Aurangzeb. They were leaders, of course, kings and dictators, whatever. How do you view their leadership?
Sir, as far as Hitler is concerned, I consider his leadership as of authoritarianism and anti-Semitic, wherein he capitalized the anger of common Germans and channeled it towards a particular community to garner his authority. So he was an opportunistic leader. Or for Aurangzeb sir, I find him a leader who had some expansionist tendencies, who didn't want his authority to be questioned, as we saw in his uh, case against Mr. Honorable Shivaji Maharaj. So I think that leadership was also a little bit centralized and egoistic.
Okay, which is the latest railway project which is a feather in the cap of the country?
Sir, the Chenab Bridge, which is the highest railway bridge of the world, which connects Srinagar to Jammu, uh, exemplifies the engineering capacities of Indian Railways.
Okay. You're fond of personality, reading books on personality development, yeah. Which is the last book you read and why it impacted you?
Sir, it's a book called Flow by Mihail Csikszentmihalyi. So it gave me the perspective of enjoying my work. So I like it because of that, because it gives the diversities by which we can enjoy our work. So I like that book.
Okay, one last question, Satvik. You are in a district as a district master, that's what you hope to become one day. Though it's one of the postings only, but very important one. The district is very rural and agrarian. So what will you do for sustainable living of the people?
Sir, as the district is largely rural, I'll look up to the Gram Panchayat development plans, what have they done so far and what are they trying to achieve. Thereafter, I'll assess the resources which they have currently in their capacity. Thereafter, based on agroclimatic conditions and the financial resources availability of the district administration, I'll decide. I'll not decide. I'll build a consensus on what needs to be done to improve the agriculture and grow high value crops rather than growing cliche crops for the sake of MSP. I'll try to improve the allocations to MG Narega if there is a drought-like situation or if there is any other eventuality. Also, sir, it's very important to develop the capacities of Gram Panchayat. So I'll ensure that all the schemes of capacity development of Panchayat development offices are implemented properly to delegate and decentralize some of the implementation functions. Thereafter, I'll try to implement the Gram Panchayat development plans accordingly.
Okay, thank you, Satvik.
You are aware that yesterday in Riyadh there was a meeting between the US side headed by their foreign secretary and the Russian side headed by their foreign minister. It is touted to be aimed at ending the Ukrainian war. But have you noticed that conspicuously Ukraine, the other combatant, was absent or were not invited? Even he came up to Ankara yesterday. Zelensky was in Ankara yesterday and he was planning to fly to Riyadh. He was excluded. No European country who supported Ukraine during the war, they were excluded. Why do you think that they are excluded? They are the main partners in negotiation to end the war. Why they were excluded?
So,
Let us take Ukraine. Why Ukraine was excluded?
so the reason for this is rooted in the cause of start of war, which was the Russian insecurity of the US, of Ukraine becoming a NATO member. So the root cause is the Russian insecurity from US. So it's essential for Russia and US to first settle the matters. Without Ukraine, sir, Ukraine.
Suppose there were Ukraine representatives there, what would have happened?
So I think when there are too much perspectives, it can lead to stalemate of the decisions. So it's a piecemeal but a step-by-step approach wherein first Russia and US will negotiate and come to peace with each other.
But Ukrainian president has already said that any deal without my approval will not be implemented.
Yes, sir, but Ukraine will follow. Ukraine will be allowed in later negotiations, but in the following peace negotiations of Ukraine-Russia war.
No, but there is no mention of Ukraine in the joint press communique issued.
But I think, sir, there was a statement wherein. I think it's an informal or formal statement wherein Putin considered meeting Zelensky if situation arises. So I think the root cause is the Russia-US insecurities with each other.
Don't you think that Russia, being the main sponsor of Ukraine, they will arm twist Ukraine and implement whatever decision they take? If they, how they will do it?
So I think Russia.
No, US. How US will arm twist Ukraine to accept a deal which has been cut between the US and Russia?
By limiting its funding or aid, by limiting the B is by pressurizing the EU to follow the same suit, and sir, by starting diplomatic channels with Russia
No, that they're doing it.
to negotiate the terms with.
I'm thinking how they will arm twist. Follow my question properly. How they will arm twist Ukraine to accept the deal which has been arrived at between Russia and US. How they will do it, enforce it. A, you have right, stopping the aid. B,
Pressure tactics on EU because EU is supporting Ukraine.
how what type of pressure?
Sir, economic tariffs.
On EU. EU has also said that we will reciprocate it.
Yes.
You are missing the points. There are 2,000 plus US troops grounded in Ukraine. Okay, he will withdraw that. CIA operatives are in the field in Ukraine. Mossad operatives are working in Ukraine. So he will simply ask Netanyahu to withdraw those Mossad agents, withdraw the American advisors, so-called advisors, military advisors, some 4-star generals are there, and CIA operatives will be withdrawn so that lack of information. This is how they will do it. And why Europe? Europe has been kept out.
Because currently I think there is a environment of mistrust and uncertainty between the US and EU because of the threats made by Trump.
No, it goes beyond that. It goes to the root cause of the Ukrainian-Russian war. It is the European countries, the Helsinki Agreement. Helsinki Agreement was that the Russia, NATO will not be expanded further in the Eastern Europe. And they have kept on enlarging it. Now the NATO members are breathing down the neck of Russia. Latvia, Poland, Estonia, they have become member of the NATO. Now if Ukraine joins, which Ukraine has already applied for, so EU or NATO minus USA, are responsible for enlargement of these things. So Europe has to be kept aside. Otherwise they will interfere in this thing. Ukraine will interfere in this thing. That's why Trump, being what he is said, this is the decision, you have to take it. Okay, as they did it in the case of Colombia. They sent a plane load of undocumented Colombians. They refused permission to land the aircraft. They said, okay, we'll increase the tariff by 50%. And USA is the largest exporting center of Colombia. So they buckled. So here also they will do the same thing. And my last question, what is your take on the Munich Security Conference? What is your take?
So I don't know the exact.
You don't know. This is a hot topic now. Huh? J.D. Vance scathing remarks on democracy in whole of Europe, because in Romania the election, which was won by the right-wing party, was nullified without any justification. In Germany also, right-wing, there is election in Germany on 23rd of February. Okay. So to stop these things, he has openly criticized the democracy in this Munich Security Conference is very essential. Now these are the hot topics these days. And Russia-Ukraine war. Go deep into Russia and Ukraine war.
Yes, I will definitely read about it.
And the situation in Palestine. Okay, thank you.
Satvik, number one, the board is not everyone. Good afternoon, everyone. Good morning, everyone. No. The wish goes to the chair. Okay? And when you wish the chair, everybody stands wished accordingly. If there's a lady, you have to wish her first. Number two, you looked very burdened with the weight of the questions in the session. In fact, you were twitching also. Why was that?
Sir, I don't know. Maybe because I'm not very confident as of now.
Yes, so you have to get over that. And then there's a monotone. So in a conversation, there'll be emphasis, there'll be voice modulation. You were engaging. But then when you engaged, you were engaged with one panelist only. You have to occasionally look around a little bit. Okay? And develop more confidence and be at ease. I know that there's too much at stake. Yeah, too much at stake. But then what can we do? You have to choose the best. And you have to prove yourself to be the best before the board in many respects. Okay? Question answers we don't care because it's the test of knowledge and personality. So all the best and try to overcome that barriers of which keep you burdened.
You tell us what is your feedback about this interview. कैसा लगा आपको? What are the grey areas you found about yourself?
So grey areas, facts थोड़े कम थे और थोड़ी knowledge deficiency है about hot topics, Munich conferences and Russia-Ukraine war. Also, sir, monotone.
See, क्या है? See, just try to understand कि you are sitting before a group of elders, right? तो जैसे नॉर्मल घर में बात करते हैं बुजुर्गों से, just try to interact in that manner. थोड़ा सा हंसो. अगर आप एनर्जी दोगे नहीं बोर्ड को, तो बोर्ड की एनर्जी आप ले रहे हो. It should be other way around. Be a little bit smiling. Don't be overburdened. क्या है? इंटरव्यू है. सवाल का अच्छे बोलते जवाब देंगे. नंबर वन. नंबर टू, जब सवाल पूछा जा रहा है तो यू आर इंटरेक्टिंग विद इंटायर बोर्ड, नॉट विथ वन मेंबर. 70% टाइम जो व्यक्ति क्वेश्चन पूछ रहा है एंड एटलीस्ट 30% योर गेज शुड बी शिफ्टिंग ऑन टू द अदर मेंबर्स ऑफ द बोर्ड बिकॉज यू आर नॉट टॉकिंग टू अ पर्सन, यू आर टॉकिंग टू अ बोर्ड. थर्ड थिंग, यू नीड नॉट नो द आंसर ऑफ ऑल द क्वेश्चंस. कोई जरूरी नहीं है. ऑलरेडी योर नॉलेज हैज बीन टेस्टेड. नाउ दिस इज अ टेस्ट ऑफ योर पर्सनैलिटी. हाउ यू फेयर अंडर प्रेशर. आपकी पर्सनैलिटी कैसे है, आप कैसे लोगों से इंटरेक्ट करते हो, क्या उनसे इंगेज करते हो, क्या उनके सवालों का कैसे जवाब देते हो. सो फोकस ऑन दैट पार्ट. दैट वाज सर राइटली सेड. मॉडल एक बार मोनोटोनस वॉइस पे बोलोगे, अगर मान लो जैसे न्यूक्लियर पावर, यू आर बिकॉज इट वॉज योर जोन ऑफ कंफर्ट, सो यू आर रिप्लाइंग. ठीक है, अगर मान लो उसमें दम है तो थोड़ा सा और एनर्जी आ. सर ये बहुत अच्छा हुआ है, लाइक US, the agreement or likely agreement about SMRs after long time. Now that element was missing. आपसे बात कर रहे हैं तो you have the background, so I want that element should come out in your response, right? उसी तरह से सर ने आपसे पूछा यूक्रेन रशिया के बारे में. अगर आप किसी चीज़ के बारे में श्योर नहीं हो, स्ट्रेट अवे से सर मैं नहीं जानता. डोंट मेक वाइल्ड गेसेस. मान लो अगर 30% आप श्योर हो तो यू कैन आस्क द चेयर, सर कैन यू मेक अ गेस. सर मेड अ वेरी वैलिड पॉइंट अबाउट हेलसिंकी एग्रीमेंट. सो थिंग्स लाइक दिस दे विल कम आउट व्हेन यू स्टडी अ लिटिल बिट डीप. अभी आपके पास टाइम है अप्रैल तक, अच्छे से इसको पढ़ो. दिस विल हेल्प यू, राइट? सो यू आर वेरी गुड कैंडिडेट. यू विल कम आउट विथ फ्लाइंग कलर्स. थोड़ा सा ये एलिमेंट्स जो मिसिंग एलिमेंट्स हैं इनको ऐड कर दो, ठीक है सर?
I've got 2 points to make. One is one statement which he has already highlighted is that be energetic, be confident. You know that you present yourself as if that, yes, whatever, it's a personality test. You have already proved your knowledge base in the mains exam. Okay? So we are not here to fathom your knowledge. No. Personality, how you react. This is what. So be confident, please. Please be confident. And be pointed in your answer. He asked a question, is nuclear energy safe? First question. B, is it cost effective? There are 2 parts of that question. Okay. So why you are elaborating? It is safe because if you have to do this thing, why you are elaborating? Yes, it is safe provided that we follow all the norms. Matter ends. Don't go beyond that. How to, how to store your nuclear fuels, these spent fuels. There is no need. I know that, we know that you know. So be specific. Then cost effective. Yes, it is cost effective. Because the production side, initial capital investment is there, but after that it will be cost effective. We do not want to know what are the other sources, whether it is South Korea, whether it is North Korea, whether it is China. We have not asked this question. He has not asked the question. He asked the question, is it cost effective? Your answer should be, yes, it is cost effective in the long run. Initially, there will be capital investment, which is a huge capital investment, but in the long run, it will prove cheaper than producing electricity in the traditional way. Matter ends. Don't go beyond that. If you purchase a nuclear reactor from South Korea, from this thing, from USA, from France, it will be, you mentioned, from France, it will be costlier. He has not asked you this question that from where we can source cheaper nuclear reactors. That was not the question. This is what we are here to judge. Okay? Be specific.
ऐसे ही नॉर्मल वे में बात करो ना.
He has not smiled.
आफ्टर द इंटरव्यू इज ओवर. अब ये चीज़ होनी चाहिए थी आपको उस वक्त वेरी नॉर्मल वे में आराम से, ताकि उन लोगों को लगे कि हाँ भाई द पर्सन ऑन द साइड इज इक्वली पॉजिटिव, है ना. और ये कॉलर वगैरह थोड़ी ठीक कर लो अपना, टाई ये सब थोड़ा सा आराम से अपना नॉर्मल वे में. अगर आप और भी मॉक्स में जा रहे हो तो बी प्रिपेयर्ड, इस तरह से जाओ कि लगे कि आप फाइनल इंटरव्यू में जा रहे हो, इर्रेस्पेक्टिव ऑफ द आउटकम. डोंट बी वेरी कैजुअल. बाल ठीक करो, अच्छे से जाओ, क्या दिक्कत है? ठीक है.
There is no semi-final. Yes. There is no semi-final. You think that this is a semi-final? During the main interview, during the actual interview, I will do this thing. Oh, I will take care of this thing. I will take. No, there is no semi-final. This is final. You may be giving another, 5 or 6, 4 or 5 or whatever it is, number of mock interviews. Every mock interview is your final interview. Take it like that.
This was my first.
कोई बात नहीं. सात्विक, जो शर्ट आप लेंगे, buy a shirt which doesn't crumple. Nothing should give a crumpled look on you.
Your collars are crumpled. Your jacket is not properly fitted. You take care of this.
छोटी छोटी चीज़ें हैं. This will help you. ठीक.
Okay. Have a good day. Otherwise, you are a good candidate. Okay. Thank you. Have a good day. Bye.